All right, racers. Break's over. We are going to call our 16 drivers back to the staging lanes, please, to get back there and have whatever conversations it is that you need to have. So on the pro side of things, we're going to be looking for Jeremy Wilson, Marcos Ocampo, Sasha Hofer, and Mark Kidd. Super Pro Door Car, Chuck Hawk, Dan Fiello, Daryl Nance, Chris Northrup. And in the dragster world, Dylan Howe, Dan Lafferty, Race Kid, Val Torres Jr., Don Sefton, Logan War, Val Torres Sr., and Nick Downing. We'll take those 16 cars back to the staging lanes, please. We're going to get you back there, going to have the conversations, we'll make the decisions, and we will whittle the field down yet again. So our 16 drivers will take you back to the staging lanes, please. Thank you.
All right, so like Nathan Hershey was just talking about, let's get all 16 of our competitors back up in the lanes, please. We'd like all 16. It's a little bit of a quick turnaround, but let's get everybody, car and driver, back up in the lanes. We're going to have a little discussion back there, so let's get all 16 back up in the lanes, if you would, please, pretty please. All right, so we're down to 16 competitors in our Kid Performance of Dyno $50,000 shootout. We're working on getting all 16 of our competitors, our 8 dragsters and our 8 total door cars back in the back. Just give us a few moments. We've done some work out on the racing surface. Should be good to go for the rest of the evening. We're getting our 16 competitors back up in the staging lanes. Gonna have a little chat, then we'll move everybody forward and we'll continue with our Kid Performance of Dyno $50,000 shootout here at the K&N Southwest Showdown at Tucson Dragway. Appreciate everybody's patience both here on property and I was watching the live feed on Bank Shift, the chat bleachers and everybody. And Ted Weens. First of all, I heart you. Second of all, we greatly appreciate your patience. I mean, we're working on it. I like that Ted Weens guy. So that everybody's making their way back in the staging lanes. We have 8 dragsters, 8 door cars. We'll move everybody forward and we'll just keep rocking and rolling. So just give us a few more minutes. We'll be back to racing. Trying to wrap up Hughes Performance Saturday here with our Kid Performance of Dyno $50,000 shootout.
All right, well, it sounds like the conversations are coming to a close back there in the staging lanes. We are getting ready to kind of send up those cars, and we will whittle our field down from 16 to 8. I know that they're done from what I'm hearing on the radio. We're anticipating our pro cars will be on track in about 3 minutes or so. And as they've got things kind of wrapping up back there in the staging lanes. Again, down to 4 on the pro car side, 4 in the super pro door car side, and 8 on the dragster side. It's going to work out exactly the way that it was designed. We'll race our semifinals and finals in pro, semifinals and finals in super pro door car. We'll take our quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals in dragster. We'll be left with 1 dragster. We'll take our finalists from the pro side and our finalists from super pro door car. They'll race it out. And the 2 winners will make an appearance in the final round here of the West Coast Bracket Races $50,000 shootout, presented by Kid Performance and Dyno. And as they do roll forward, we'd like to remind you, you're listening to the smooth sounds of KTUC Radio, broadcasting live from Tucson Dragway. KTUC. All right, maybe that's not real. But this program brought to you by Munson Math, befuddling young minds since 1979. So I did hear some door cars rumbling up towards the front of the staging lanes, and from the view that I can see up here on the Bang Shift live feed, which we've also got, we are watching along just like everybody else. That way we can keep up with everything that's happening in the chat bleachers. Still got a lot of folks that are listening in, watching along, trying to see who's going to claim that $50,000 check from here at Tucson Dragway. We even got folks up in Phoenix that are listening in. Maybe not, you know, those of good reputation, but we've got folks in Phoenix that are listening in.
Hey, Rice is up there boobing. Hurry up. Rice, we're hurrying. We know it's past your bedtime.
Yeah, I don't know. Gee, Michael, if we can do a Wolfman Jack right now, with it being a little bit later, we are obviously trying to keep a little bit quieter in between rounds. When we get to racing, I mean, that's a whole damn game on, right? When we get to racing, game on. We're going to make noise. We're going to have fun, all of that kind of stuff. I'd have to listen to Wolfman Jack to see if I could pull that one off. I don't know if I can. The one I've been working on, of course, is the movie trailer guy, Don LaFontaine.
Yep.
We may try that one a little bit later.
I was almost kind of thinking that, so after, the 4 pair of door cars, when you do, the 4 pair of dragsters, you need to do them as Farmer Fran from The Waterboy.
I'll have to see.
Or, even better, if you could pull off like Brad Pitt's character from Snatch, the Gypsy.
No way. I couldn't do that one. It is our pro category. And Mike Eames, you have been calling the pro cars and the super pro door cars, so game on.
Sasha Hofer and Marcos Ocampo. Marcos in the Mustang. Sasha in her trusty steed. Sasha, 760 the dial. 659 for Marcos. Sasha was our runner-up earlier today in our $5,000 to win Hughes Performance Pro category. Went red in the final alongside Chris Hall. Sasha, really, really tough in this machine. Off and away. Marcos, the advantage off the starting line in the Mustang. Marcos trying to chase down Sasha. No, Sasha Hofer, 763.6 on the 760. Still in the hunt for 50 grand. Marcos was 10 green, but 6 over the dial, was 8 thou behind at the finish line as Sasha Hofer advances. Jeremy Wilson and Mark Kidd. Jeremy in the Vega wagon. Kidd in the 67 Nova. Kidd going to be last to stage. Wilson away. Mark Kidd away. Mark has picked the best time to have his best light thus far tonight in the door car, and Mark Kidd, 23 green, 581.3 on the 581. That makes 26 total. Jeremy Wilson was Richard Petty on the starting line. And when Mark Kidd's 26 total and you're 43 green, you have no shot. So Mark Kidd is going to take on Sasha Hofer to move forward on the pro side of things. So we'll have 4 Super Pro door cars left, and they will be moving up this way shortly as we trim this field from 16 total down to 8 total. 50,000 cash dollars to the winner tonight of the Kid Performance and Dyno $50,000 shootout here at the K&N Southwest Showdown. Super Pro door car. Chuck Hawk, the extended cab S10 from right down over yonder, 552. The dial in for Chuck, and Daniel Fiello for Team K&N, the 82 Camaro, 626 for Daniel Fiello. Chuck Hawk's got 552 on the dial in. Fiello, about a bulb and a half, going to be the head start. Chuck. He's won probably like a gajillion races here at Tucson Dragway through the years. Between here and up there at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park is in. Fiello's in. Fiello, 009, Chuck Hawk is behind, and ooh, that's just nasty. Daniel Fiello. 009 green, dead on 4 is 13 total. And Chuck Hawk is 28 green and was just wasting fuel. So Daryl Nance in the Mustang. Funny car Chris Northup in the Camaro. Daryl? .606 on the dial. 663 for Funny Car Chris. Final door car before we move into the dragsters. Northup, last to stage. Top bulb. Tree. Away. Northup is 007. Daryl's 26, and Funny Car Chris will be one of the final 2 Super Pro Door Cars alongside Daniel Fiello. Taking us down to 4 total door cars, 8 dragsters. They've completed the burnout, Nathan Hershey.
That's right. 8 dragsters are rolling into the round. And our first 2 are going to be Val Torres Sr. and Don Sefton. Sefton rolling in out of the Division 6 ranks. Dialed in at 442 over on the right side of the racetrack. Val Torres Sr., the proprietor down there at Val Torres Construction, getting ready to roll. Red light start for Val Torres Sr. by 7/1000ths of a second. Torres checks out. Don Sefton 17 green and 449 on the 442, as Sefton, the first of the 4 that will be coming back in the semifinals on the dragster side. Senior Val 007 red goes 475 on the 473, and that will bring out Dan Lafferty and Nick Downing. Downing's got the dragster on the right side, dialed 491. Dynamite Dan with that 457 showing on the bottom side of the National Auto Collision Center scoreboard. Head start goes to Nick Downing. Talking about a group of folks that are very comfortable racing down here in the desert. The dry air, the breezes, they're used to it all. Nick Downing is in and set. Dan Lafferty double blinks that bottom bulb as he's set. 20 thou the difference between the 2 at this end of the racetrack. Advantage to Nick Downing, and how about Nick? 005 on the tree. 492 on a 491. He's 14 thou above the dial, getting to the stripe first by 10/1000ths of a second. Dan Lafferty, 25 on the tree. Went from being 6 total last time, was still dead on the dial this time. 457 on the 457. But an 025 reaction time, and that was a little bit painful. Nick Downing's car has been kind of puffing as he gets down there towards the scoreboard each time, and we want to make sure that everything is free and clear before we send our next couple of cars. Again, with our $50,000 on the line, want to make absolutely certain that the racetrack is in tip-top condition for each and every pair that make their way down. So the golf cart down there getting things checked out. As soon as we get word, we'll go ahead and set up our next pair and be ready to go. So the golf cart's turned around, is headed back this direction, which is what we wanted to see. And here in this round, we've seen Val Torres Sr. bow out. We've seen Dan Lafferty bow out. And we're going to find out if Val Torres Jr. or Dylan Howe will be the next to bow out. Don Sefton and Nick Downing both advancing. So 2 of our last 4 dragsters have been determined. And our final 4 sit on the starting line and in the water box. At least our final 4 for this round. We've been talking about how Dylan Howe has progressed throughout the day. I mean, started off yesterday, had a little trouble finding the tree, but as of late, he is in the zone. has been dialed in on that top bulb, letting go at the right time. Val Torres, winner last night in the bonus race. Tree drops. A 12 thou difference at this end of the racetrack, and Dylan Howe bows out. 25 on the tree and dead on 3, running it right on the number. But Val Torres was 12 thou better at this end of the racetrack, taking a 6 thou stripe as he's 13 on the tree and dead on 9. So our final 2 dragsters, and Mr. Ray, just to kind of clear it up, what you guys may be seeing on the back side of the tree are not the LED lights, but on the front side of the tree we do have the LED lights here. So the LED lights are on the front side of the tree. The drivers are certainly looking at those. On the back side of the tree, we've still got the old kind of incandescent type bulbs, but I think they're actually still using candles on that front side of the tree here. But the LEDs are certainly on the side that the drivers are staring at as our final 2. Logan War and Race Kid. Big time matchup between the 2 young drivers. Race dialed 479, Logan dialed 464. Are you kidding me? Logan War, 004, gets there second to light up the board as he's 18 thou above the dial. Race Kid was 15 green, taking a 14 thou stripe, and needed to take 7 thou or less as he goes 478 on the 479. So, Logan War, winner a couple of hours ago in the $10,000 main event on Hughes Saturday, continues on. Don Sefton continues on. Nick Downing continues on. And Val Torres Jr., winner in the bonus race last night, continues on. Dan Fiello and Chris Northrup are going to pair up on the Super Pro Door Car side, and Sasha Hofer and Mark Kidd are going to battle it out in the Pro category. The winner between Sasha Hofer and Mark Kidd will come back to take on the winner between Dan Fiello and Chris Northrup. And between Val Torres Jr., Don Sefton, Logan Warren, Nick Downing, they'll essentially continue with the infighting in the dragsters until one remains triumphant. And we'll be back. So down to just 8. That's all that's left. So again, we're going to give our drivers the opportunity to get back, get them turned around, cool them, fuel them, fill them and chill them. Fill them and chill them. Then bring them back to the lanes.
Fur and stuff. It's getting cold up here. Yeah, it's way colder up here. So yeah, everybody, we are here. We are live at lovely Tucson Dragway, and I am cracking open a frosty beverage that is not beer. As much as I would like a beer right now, I also know that all that would do is make me not be awake, and it's already cold, and it's cold. That's what it is. The wind is blowing, so yeah, it is what it is. But it's all right. We're getting toward the end here, as you can tell by the beard. The wind is back. It's breezy right now, but it's dark, so that makes it cold. So it sucks. Brittany Snyder, how are you? Yeah. TXX miles. Nope. I am good. But what I am hoping, as I'm like, God, shot monster all over everything in here. Don't mind the electronics. It'll be fine. Not like it hasn't been rained on before. So anyway, we are here. It is, what up, Matt Compton Racing Engines? Hey, thanks for being here. Everybody that's tuned in right now around the world. There's 420 of you on right now. And yeah, thanks for being on. Totally appreciate it. If you're just joining us, this is the... Okay, gotta cover the ears, dude. Don't care. I hate when kids wear their hoodies like this with their hats sticking out. God, I sound like an old man. Don't care. But, oh, God. Yeah, my ears are cold. So, you know what, Jamie? I don't care if it's colder over there. You're not outside on a scissor lift. So, the only way anybody can say, oh, but it's colder here, is if they prove it by sending me a photo on Facebook of themselves at this moment standing on a scissor lift. Because otherwise, I don't care how cold it is outside. I have a heater in my house too. But for all of you that are everywhere, totally appreciate you guys tuning in. I know there have been a lot of great drag racing going on today, all over the country, and excited. My boy Lyle is qualified in the number 11 spot at the Door Slammer Nationals, and he's looking forward to the chip draw tomorrow. He has had the best reaction time of everybody in the entire event, all 3 rounds qualifying, and I think they're going to need to watch out. Yeah, Drew Smith, my beard is doing dual duty. Part windbreak, part wind sock. You are correct. Yes, Brittany, I am hoping that Lyle gets it done this weekend as well. So, anyway, you guys are all welcome. I know I appreciate all the thanks. Thank you very much. And again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Please make sure that you like and subscribe and sign up for notifications and all that. It really does matter, and it helps us out a lot. I have not been to Mocan yet, Larry J. The great thing is that we go all over the country. We do these events. Obviously, last year, we were one of the lucky ones, honestly. We streamed arguably more events than anybody else because of the fact that we were working with organizations and racetracks that really did a great job at managing and handling COVID. But man, it's just been a tough year. So this year is going to be good. We have some exciting stuff. We have some Southern Dragboat Association races we'll be doing again this year, which is going to be nice. Obviously, I'll be working with Midwest Pro Mod or Midwest Drag Racing Series. We will not be streaming their events this year, though. They're going to be a TV show on MAV TV, so you'll have. I don't know what the coverage is going to be at this point, so it's not my. So hopefully that'll be good. And then we are doing our next big race that I'm really excited about. Is going to be the Spring Fling Million in Las Vegas. We'll be there where Mike Eames and Nate Hershey will both be announcing again, which will be awesome. Really looking forward to that. Actually, Loans will be there as well announcing at that event. Enjoying the air-conditioned booth as usual while I do the hard work. And then also Nostalgia Funny Cars coming back to bangshift.com. We're going to be doing United Nitro Funny Car Race here at Tucson in April. In fact, I guess it's a month from now. The 10th, I believe it is. Saturday the 10th of April, we will be here at Tucson for the United Nitro Funny Cars. Looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. Dar Hawthorne Bucky Austin, all the gang of UNFC. That is going to be a super fun event to do, and it's not public yet, so hey, we have a bunch of other cool events that are coming up as well, and so I will keep you posted on those as we go over the next month or so. But again, sign up for notifications and you won't miss anything. There are some really big announcements that I cannot talk about yet. That are some other events that you guys are asking about right now, and I can't answer yet. Yeah, Bree, it is 65 degrees out here on the ground. I, however, am not on the ground. I'm, I don't know, 15 or so feet in the air and in the wind. So, yeah, it's totally comfortable on the ground here. Although I say that, and everybody's on grandstands and stuff over here because they're all cold. They're all bundled up. So, they're not up in the air and unprotected in the wind. So Bree, just come on down. Whatever race you want to come to, you come on up here in the scissor lift, and we'll strap you up here in the cold and the wind to hang out in I don't know, whatever this is, 10 square feet. Yes, Mopar Man. No.
Alright, so I need to push the answers to all of my
Racing Mason Hawker, I am not sick of popcorn. I actually have. Oh, I am so playing with fire. I just literally stood the monster up on the keyboard of the computer. What could possibly go wrong? No, guys, that's dangerous. For those of you that are just tuning in and weren't here earlier, they have really good food here at Tucson Dragway, and one of the things is they have a kettle corn place here, and it is awesome. I'm talking about unbelievable. Yeah, it is just great. So, they are calling cars, which is great. Oh yeah, kettle corn. Oh yeah. Oh yes, TD McLeish, they do have good ice cream here too, and they'll make custom milkshakes and everything. This is a great place for track food. Is really good here. I see reflections on people's trailers right now because they have bonfires going. I hate them. All right. Ask Chad anything. Go. GoFundMe/Chad. That's awesome.
I will get the RC competitors to make their way to the stage line, please. RC.
Okay. Jacob Rogers, best track food ever? Ooh. Dude. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on that one, dude. Sorry, I don't have an answer for that, Jacob. Shasta, favorite racetrack? I grew up in Fremont Drag Strip, so like emotionally, that's the one. But God, Favorite quarter mile track? Yes, I will, my game. They're talking to me on the PA. Hold on. Okay. Tulsa Raceway Park and Extreme Raceway Park. Right up there. Okay, preferred weather station? Dude, I have not bought a weather station in years. That is not a good question for me, because I would have to talk to my boys about that before I'd buy one. PHX Steve, the scariest moment in a race car. You know, that one, drag car or any car? I've been, scariest to everybody or scariest to me? The most scared I've ever been in a drag car was I was getting my pro stock license, and the window, the front half of the driver's window ripped out of the door and folded back against it. It sounded like a shotgun blast in my ear. It scared the crap out of me for like a nanosecond, and then I knew what it was, so it was fine. The scariest thing to most people would be when I spun a Camaro on the salt at Bonneville at 238 miles an hour. But that didn't scare me. When does beer money show up at a big money bracket race? Not going to happen, Matt, but I like where your head's at, though. Yes, Jake Rogers, I'll be on RMRW and we'll be streaming it live here at Pink. Jamie Uden is asking about Garrett or Cletus's vet cart, Leroy. It's cool. I mean, I built a vet cart years and years and years and years ago, so I like vet carts. And it's cool. I mean, I wish he would have done all the safety crap on it way before he did, but I'm glad he does now. But it hauls ass. And he drives it. I like Garrett. Garrett's a good people. Okay. Okay, guys, we're going back to the car.
2 pro cars, 2 super pro door cars, 4 dragsters. And at the request of G. Michael, I don't know that we're going to have time for it. Maybe. You know what? We'll do it after.
Yeah, after the round.
We'll do it after the round.
Pro Eliminator Quasi-Final. This is to continue forward in the Kid Performance and Dyno $50,000 shootout. Mark Kidd and Sasha Hofer. Mark. 581 on the dial. Sasha, 761. Sasha's had a big run today in both the main event and here in the 50K shootout. Both are in. Sasha's going to be away first. Mark Kidd doing the chasing. Sasha better on the starting line. Mark Kidd driving over towards the center line. Sasha Hofer going to get the win. 763 as we were all holding our breath up here as Mark took a very lengthy traverse down the 8th mile. Sasha, 43 green. She's going to come out of the pro side. 763 on the 61. Kidd was 66 reacting to green and 500ths over. As I got a real good look of the side of Mark Kidd's machine. So Sasha Hofer, after going all the way to the final in today's $5,000 Hughes Performance Saturday, before red lighting in that final alongside Chris Hall, is taken down to 4 cars here for $50,000 off the bottom. And our Super Pro door cars will be rolling forward as well. We're just going to take a quick look. So it'll be Daniel Fiello and Chris Northup. We're just going to take a quick look down there, make sure everything's okay. There's a lot of money at stake. I'd rather take 30 seconds and just double check and make sure everything's fine. So Sasha Hofer taking it down to 4 cars. It's good stuff. And who's going to join Sasha? They'll battle it out to take on what would be the dragster in the final. All right, the golf cart heading back this direction, which is lovely. I should have been using this one all along, Nathan Hershey. I can
You just wander around.
Wander, which is what I do.
Pace the floor back and forth.
Absolutely. The old Rocky Mountain Raceways, I went and bought a 30-foot cord so we could walk all the way around the tower. The late Ron Kraft, when I brought it up in the tower, he was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, but at that point, you have to make sure that whatever path it was that you took
Correct.
was the same path you took back. Otherwise,
That's right.
you'd end up looking like my dog that a lot
Tangled
of times
up.
would have,
Yep.
tangled himself up around the table until he's like stuck there whimpering and whining, wondering why he can't get away.
All right, final in Super Pro Door Car. Once again, we continue to move forward as Sasha Hofer will take on the winner of this pair, Daniel Fiello and Funny Car Chris Northup. All Camaro affair. Daniel, the 82 Blue Machine, 626 the dial, 664 the dial in for Chris Northup for Team Guess Who. Northup Family Racing Team. Chris is doing double duty here in the 50 grander. Bowed out. Round number 2 in the dragster. Here he's looking to take on Sasha Hofer to see who will run in the final round out of the door car side. Both drivers are pre-staged. The yellow left side, Funny Car Chris going to be last to enter. Top bulb away and green. Slide advantage for Northup. And a win light for Funny Car Chris. Dead on 2. 17 green makes 19 total, and Daniel Fiello is 26th thou on the green light start, and no good. So Funny Car Chris Northup, Sasha Hofer, 2 remaining door cars, Nathan Hershey, as we're going to the Super Pro Dragster side.
That's right. We figured out our 2 remaining door cars. We're going to figure out our 2 remaining dragsters. Val Torres Jr. and Don Sefton. On a random pair throughout the affair, these 2 end up side by side here in the semifinals. Torres, 473 the dial on the left side. Don Sefton with the quicker car in the 442. Over on the right, Val Torres Jr. Wasted no time, back from the burnout, rolls up, lights up the pre-stage bulbs. Don Sefton rolls up and drops both bulbs on. Val Torres joins him on the starting line, and here we go. Red light start for Don Sefton. Val Jr., 16 green, goes 475 on the 473. Sefton left 7 thousandths of a second too quick at this end of the racetrack, and Val Jr. finds himself a couple of rounds away from a second bonus race win here this weekend. Sefton 445 on a 442 after he dropped it red by 7 thou at this end of the racetrack. But Val Torres Jr. will be one of 2 remaining dragsters when we come back for the next round, racing for that Kid Performance and Dyno $50,000. Next up, Nick Downing and Logan War. Logan over on the right side of the racetrack, 464 is the dial. Nick Downing pulling the dragster up here in the left lane. Nick has been racing out of the right lane all day, all night. Logan War bumped him over to the left lane and said, look, I'm comfortable over here. That's where I won my 10 grand. I'm going to stay right here. I'm happy. I got a zone on the tree. 464 to a 492. Here we go. Advantage on the tree and a womp womp on the throttle for Logan War. War 466 on the 464 was 13 green at this end of the racetrack. For Nick Downing, he was 032 on the tree. Gets to the stripe first by 5 thousandths of a second and breaks out by 4 thousandths of a second. Had a slim, slight, possible opportunity to light up the scoreboard, but Logan War continues his string of win lights here today. So our 2 racers on the dragster side have each parked their car in front of the winner banner here this weekend already. Logan did it a couple of hours ago in the Saturday main event for $10,000. Val Jr. did it last night as part of the stimulus bonus race. They've each already got a trophy in their possession. One of them has an opportunity to go home with 2, but there are a couple of door cars on the other side. They're like, whoa, 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 wait up. We've got just as good a shot. Sasha Hofer, Chris Northup, those 2 will go side by side, head to head, to determine who gets to race whoever wins between Torres and Logan War. That's pretty much the format.
Yeah, and looking at these last 4, California, Idaho, and Utah. States represented there in the Final 4. And really, when you take a look at the Final 4, I mean, Sasha Hofer, how many races has she won? She's represented Division 7 down at the Summit Finals down there.
Oh, the Summit World Finals,
how many times?
Yeah. 3, 4 times now?
Chris Northup. I mean, how many big races has he won? Val Jr., Logan. It's a pretty special Final 4.
That is a stout Final 4. It's going to be tough no matter what happens in each of our semifinals. But again, guaranteed a door car and a dragster in the final round for the $50,000 shootout. Again, we're going to get them back. We're going to chill them. We're going to fill them. And it doesn't take long to chill them with the breeze that's blowing out here. It is breezy. You heard Chad kind of on that Bang Shift live feed talking about it. You saw his beard blowing around in the breeze that's picking up again. And again, we are going to see that breeze pick up overnight. We'll have the wind with us again tomorrow morning. And then just like it did today, right about the noon hour, it'll start to die off, and we should finish off the rest of the weekend under beautiful conditions. So again, talking about tomorrow morning real quick while our drivers head back to chill 'em and fill 'em. We'll start off our final day at the Southwest Showdown. Again, the gates will open at 7 a.m. We'll have chapel service at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. So again, Rich Trimmer will be out here helping out. That'll be at the trackside grandstand. Everybody is welcome to join in at 7:30 and enjoy the good word. And then at 8:30 a.m., should we have any new entries tomorrow, if anybody happens to roll in here and wants to hit the Southwest Showdown for a day, we'll get our new entries down the racetrack and we will start eliminations immediately following that on what will be a Mosier Engineering main event Sunday. $10,000 in Super Pro, $3,000 in Pro. We're going to have all of our round prizes that will be given away as well. Talking about FTI round number 1 for both Pro and Super Pro, BTE buyback round in both Pro and Super Pro, Goodyear round number 2 on the Super Pro side, California Car Cover Company on the Pro side, jegs.com. Your round sponsor for the best losing package in round number 3 on both sides. That $200 cash bonus from our folks at Clay, or from our friends at Clay Smith Cams in the Pro category in round 4. Hoosier Racing Tires going out the door in round number 4 tomorrow. Autometer round number 5 and RB Components round number 6. And of course, it all comes down to that $10,000 Super Pro prize, the $3,000 Pro prize. We'll hand out the final trophies, the final checks. And I got to tell you, just in my opinion, for whatever it's worth, I'm going to give a big congratulations to Chris Forsyth for the race that he has put on here this weekend. 294 cars started round number 1 here this morning. And with a kind of off and on type scenario where it was going to happen, it wasn't going to happen, we were going to be allowed to do it, we weren't going to be allowed to do it. On very short notice, getting kind of that final approval to do it, Chris and his crew essentially put things in place and put together what, I've been to the races in Fontana, I've been to the races here. This has been by far one of the best experiences that we've had at the South. They're all great, but this one has been really, really good.
Yeah, if you think about it, it was February 15th.
Right.
When Chris made the official announcement, hey, we're going. February 15th. It's just insane. I know that Chris had all sorts of plans, and, he already had stuff kind of ready to go, but, after it officially becomes hey, we're going, how many details you got to firmly put in place, and Chris and his whole team just did a fantastic job, and it's been really good, and we're looking to close it out today, and tomorrow's going to be solved as well.
That it is. So again, Chris, congratulations, job well done. And I think on behalf of all of the racers, I haven't heard a single person out there saying that they've had a bad time. Everybody's had a great experience out here, and it's been wonderful. Again, huge thanks to Tucson Dragway, our hosts, who once again put in the long and very, very dedicated hours to make sure that each and every one of our racers gets a great racing surface to do what they need to do on the racetrack. And again, more importantly, thank you to each and every one of the racers. Again, you talked about it was February 15th when we got the official word that this was going to happen. And every racer out there said, you know what, we're going to make our way down to Tucson, and we're going to go bracket racing for the weekend. And we are so glad that you did. So every racer here on property, thank you so much for coming out here, for putting on the show that you have, and for allowing Mike and myself to just sit up here and basically be spectators. There's no better opportunity than come up here and watch you guys do what you do on the racetrack so well. It's just fun to watch it all play out. The racing here has been tight, it's been fun, it's been phenomenal, and you guys all deserve a huge pat on the back and a big thank you from myself and from Mike up here in the tower. You put on a heck of a show.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said, Nate. Last night after the racing finished, everybody's out there having a good time. We were getting ready to leave. Tucson Dragway staff, what were they doing when we left? They were all down there on the starting line scraping both lanes. So even though we had a really long day, and by the time we got back to the hotel, now I guess I can tell on myself, I was so tired when I got back to the hotel last night. When I went to go to the elevator, instead of pushing the button for the elevator to go up, I took my key card out of my pocket and I was swiping my key card on the button. And after about 5 swipes, I'm like, you know what, you're so dumb. The elevator's not going to come unless you hit the button for it to come pick you up. But the Tucson Dragway staff, they were there scraping when we left last night to give us a good service today. And I echo all of your sentiments that you so rightly put forward. And the one thing that I love about watching the racing and what we get to do up here in the tower is that we get to see the numbers first.
Yes.
So we get to be excited first.
That's true.
To see how everything plays out.
That's true. And I'm totally happy to accept that position on behalf of many others. Matt is looking through the window would you guys be quiet? I've got something important I need you to talk about. Well, it's certainly not Matt DeYoung looking in the window because, I'm listening to somebody who has something important to say. Hey, just a quick little point of clarification for our drivers, our racers who are out there. Tonight at the trailer, payouts for the shootout race will be available. Yet today's race, those payouts will be available tomorrow, but tonight we'll only have the payouts for the shootout race, so those will be available at the trailer. Again, payouts for tonight's race will be available at the trailer. This morning's race, this afternoon's race, the main event on the Hughes Performance Saturday, we'll have those payouts ready and available tomorrow. But tonight we'll only have those payouts back at the trailer for the Kid Performance and Dyno $50,000 shootout. And with that, speaking of the Kid Performance and Dyno $50,000 shootout race, there are 4 of you who should be coming back. We will take those 4 back to the lanes now, please. Sasha Hofer, Chris Northup, Val Torres Jr., and Logan War. For racing your way to this point in the program, you certainly deserve a personal invitation. So Sasha Hofer, the last woman standing out of the pro category, we will personally invite you to join us in the staging lanes. Funny car Chris Northup, let me give you a personal invitation that matches your hairstyle. Hey, yo, go ahead and come on down here, man. We'll take you in the staging lanes, okay, brother? And then Val Torres Jr. and Logan Ward, gentlemen, please make your way to the staging lanes. We would appreciate that.
Now, that would have been a good opportunity to go Farmer Fran asking Chris Northup to the staging
Farmer
lanes.
Fran.
When I'm funny car Chris,
Funny car, Chris, you go ahead and get that red orange Camaro thing and you bring it down here and we're going to get it down here, right?
that was way too understandable for Farmer Fran.
Yeah, it was actually way too understandable for Farmer Fran. I don't know if we can do that. You know that one guy in the orange Camaro, you want to get a little window wide, you keep going down here, come on down the stadium lane, man. Yeah.
Okay, I think that Nate and Mike have officially lost their minds. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. What time is it? Oh, so we've only been live for 13 and a half hours or so. 13 hours, something like that.
So G. Michael has asked to see if we can pull off the whole thing. I'll see if I can.
No, Pat, I'm not talking about a performance driving thing of any kind. Like when you were a little kid, you ride your bicycle and you lock up the back brake and slide the bike sideways. That's called skidding in the United States. I wonder what you call that in Australia. I mean, again, because you call burnouts skids. So what we call skids obviously have to be something else for you guys. So if you were in a car and you were driving down the road and you were goofing off and you just pulled the emergency brake or the parking brake or whatever you want to call it to skid the back tires and slide it around, what is that called? Here it's called skidding. Yeah. So, a brake job. Okay, we call it, you know what a brake job is? It's a brake job when you, like, put new pads and rotors and shoes, springs, whatever. You redo the brakes on your car. God, you Australians are so weirdo. I mean, I love you. I have a bunch of friends that are Australian and then some Kiwis as well, but you people are strange. You don't know how to talk. Oh, a handbrakey. There you go. Okay. Yeah, well, there's one. Okay. So now we're getting somewhere, Pat. Oh my God, Pat. I feel like if you and I were in a bar and we were drinking right now, every beer would just like have a whole nother epiphany of things that we were saying to each other. I feel like we would be those guys who didn't understand a damn thing coming out of the other one's mouth until we finally drank enough that we just came together and we would understand each other. Oh my God. So good. So good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are if you are confused by the conversation, I'm talking to Pat in the chat window. So also if you are a little confused on the format of this race, don't be. It's pretty simple. It's just that we're like running through it real quick. So what is left now is that we have one pro car, okay, door car, Sasha's. We have one super pro door car, which pro meaning no electronics, no box, right? It's a bottom mold car. Super pro meaning it has a delay box and a throttle stop if they want, whatever. Or not, as the case may be, you don't have to have any electronics to run in Super Pro. You just can't have any to run in Pro. And people always forget that. It's always hilarious. I have guys that are like, well, I can't run in electronics. I don't have electronics. Okay. Rules say they're allowed, not they're required. So anyway, so we have a pro door car and a super pro door car. They are going to race each other. Whichever one wins is going to the final. In the final, they are going to compete against one of two dragsters that are left. Those two dragsters are going to race each other to determine who goes to the final. So we have a door car final coming up in a moment, and we have a dragster final coming up in a moment. And then we are going to have the overall 50K goes to the winner or whatever they decided to split shootout final, and that is coming up here pretty soon. I have no idea, Gomez, on anything about splits. No clue whatsoever. I'm sure they did. And it's too bad. I say that. I'm not being judgmental at all. I know how this works. And I have never raced for $50,000, so I am completely talking as an armchair, racer. But I would like to think that I would have the nerve to go, nope, I'm not splitting. Because at my core, I believe that the purse for the 50K, okay, which is right here, the purse for the 50K is good, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with this purse whatsoever. So I look at this and go, okay, if you're the dude or chick who goes all the way, right? Dude, you get the quarters, you're getting $1,000, man. You showed up, that's awesome, right? You go to the semis, that's $2,000. Runner up, $7,500. Nothing to sneeze at. You win it all, dude. You earned the 50. That's what I would love to be, I would love to do that. So what is it? So when you say split, one lays off. No, G. Michael, split means at bracket races, everybody has to agree on this. But let's say there were 10 people left in the race, or 5 people, or 4, whatever. At any point, anybody who's left in can say before the next round, hey, do we want to talk about a split? And they could decide that if they took all the purse that was left for whatever the remainder of the event, if you added all the round money up together, they could decide on a different purse structure than the one that you're seeing right there. So they could decide that instead of the winner getting 50, the winner was going to get 25 and the runner-up was going to get 15 or something like that, and make it a little more even, so that everybody makes more money that's below the winner, right? And what it does is it takes the risk out. So hey, if you don't win, you're not, you didn't lose the big punch, but it also means that if you're the guy that wins the whole thing, you don't have nearly the payoff that you could. And again, every single person would have to agree to do a split, and they typically do. But there have been plenty of times, plenty of bracket races where one guy says, "Nope, I'm not doing it," and everybody has to be cool with that. And I like it. I think it's cool when no splits happen. And in fact, I think that well, I have some ideas. I have a race that I want to put together, and I have some very different things about some of the purse stuff that would be really cool. So, but it again, it doesn't matter. It's totally up to the competitors as to what they want to do. It would surprise me if there isn't a split that's happening. But who knows? You're welcome, G. Michael. Absolutely. Okay. I hear cars. Door cars. Yay! Okay, so this is, again, to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, this is the door car final. Okay. And this is the door car final. And in the door car final, we're going to... It'll be only the door cars to get down to one more door car, or to one door card to go into the final against one dragster. So this is happening.
762, the dial-in for Sasha. Funny Car Chris made it through 32 Super Pro door cars to make it to this point. 664, the dial-in for Chris Northup. 762, the dial-in for Sasha. The winner here gets into the final for 50 gur. And I'll take on the winner of Val Torres Jr. and Logan Orr. Sasha creeping up out of California, lighting that pre-stage bulb. Northup for Team Guess Who and Northup Racing. Almost a second the difference in the dials. Sasha's fully in. Northup bumping in and ready. Away and away. Sasha picked a great time to be 003. Can she hold off Chris Northup? Wow! Sasha Hofer 5 total alongside Chris Northup. Sasha Hofer, I bow down to you, young lady. That was impressive. Off the bottom, 003 green, dead on 2. Hershey, Nate, you got to beat 5 total in your pair, my friend.
How do you top that?
Throwing the gauntlet down.
003 dead 2 off the bottom in essentially like a street car. Oh my goodness. You talk about that girl is on fire. If we had Joe Costello here, you're going to go, that girl's on fire. I can't even do it right now, but wow. Goodness gracious. Sasha Hofer has set the bar extremely high as she gets ready to roll into the final round to take on one of these two. Logan War on the right side, Val Torres Jr. on the left. Again, each of these have already picked up a big check here this weekend. Logan got the 10 grand main event win here today in the Hughes Performance Saturday. Val Torres got the Silver State Refrigeration Stimulus Race big win last night. A little bit before, a little less than 24 hours ago. So Val is dialed in at 478. Logan is dialed in at 464. And the pre-stage bulbs are lit. Sasha Hofer awaits the winner to run for $50,000. Logan War going to be the first one to get into the stage bulbs. There's Val. This one ends on a red light. Logan War by 0.005 of a second fouls it away, and Val Torres Jr. could have possibly an opportunity. Well, he will have an opportunity, but he may get matching bonus race trophies here. Sasha Hofer, however, remember, she was 5 total. Val Torres was 11 on the tree and goes 474 on a 478. You think about this. Normally, if you've got a super pro dragster and you're rolling up against a car that's normally running in like Sportsman Pro, whatever, you're like, okay, we're good. You know, breathe easy. That there is no breathe easy.
No.
There is no breathe easy. Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking just like Val Jr.'s down there, like, okay, forget the like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, just give me any bonus race. Just give me the bonus races. From now on, just shootouts, bonus races, all this other stuff. No, I pass. Just give me these bonus and shootout races, and that's totally fine with me.
I'm going to start calling him Super Shootout Val. So as they take their cars back into the staging lanes, or excuse me, back into the pit areas to chill them and fill them, we've got one pair left here to run tonight. A little bit past 11 o'clock. And G. Michael, I know you're waiting for it. You've been asking for it. Let me see if I can do it for you. We'll do, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to pull it off, but we'll see. He wants me to do like a Wolfman Jack impression. We'll see if I can do it. All right, all you cats and kittens, it's about 11 o'clock right here at Tucson Dragway as we get ready to go. Our final round is coming back into the staging lanes in a little while here amongst the cactus and the sand, and we blowing around. It's going to be one dragster versus one door car. Sasha Hofer coming back off a 5-pack, and Val Torres coming off the win last night. It's going to be fun. It's going to be quick. It's going to be fast, and it's going to be a good time. Make sure you're there for it. This Coyote Nate signing off here tonight, waiting for the final round. I don't know how close that was, but we tried.
That was A+. I want to be you when I grow up.
Okay, back to the soothing sounds of KTUC Radio.
Okay, Nate Hershey is a badass. That was rad. Wow, dude, the chick in a foot brake, as Nate said, street car, dude. I mean, there's nothing about that thing that isn't. I mean, you're just average. You know, I mean, that is not a. It is her race car. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ripping on the car. I'm just saying that it is not a big tire back half chassis thing. None of that kind of stuff, right? That car is absolutely just put together to be as consistent as humanly possible, and it is considerably slower than a bunch of things out here, and it's going rounds, and that's awesome. I mean, in the final, I mean, it is unlikely that she is not going to, if she runnered up, it's unlikely that she's not getting 10 or 15 grand or so for that. I mean, the runner-up prize is supposed to be $7,500, but if they did a split, she's getting 15 or something, you know, maybe more. I don't know, but it's awesome. So I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. As we get into this final of the day. We will be live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So join us for that. And we got a whole other day of bracket racing here at Tucson Dragway. Big thanks to Mike Eames and Nate, and of course the entire Matt Young and the entire crew here at Tucson Dragway. Chris Forsyth and the West Coast Bracket Racers. What a great group of people. They're just super awesome. I love working with them. And that's really, really important to me. We don't work with people we don't like. And because it's just not worth it. We're not making any money on this deal and not getting rich. So there's just no reason to do it if you're not going to do it for the good of drag racing and because good people are involved. And that is certainly the case here. And speaking of good people, that guy Kyle Seipel, again, please put him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. Big Nasty, he is a great dude, awesome racer in his own right, amazing promoter, great family guy, and a great track manager, just an all-around good dude. And he has been fighting the good fight. He really could use all of the uplifting help he can get. This weekend, want to thank Silver State Refrigeration and HVAC. They stepped up to be the presenting sponsor of the live broadcast. When Chris called me late last year and said, "Hey, will you come do the race?" I said, "Hey, if it happens, I'd love to do it. Let me pencil you in," and we did. And just great people here, and glad to be here. And thank you, Silver State. Hughes Performance, our daily sponsor today. Yesterday it was Lucas Oil Products, and tomorrow it's Mosier Engineering. I want to say thank you to all of them. And of course, K&N. They're the title sponsor of this event. It's the K&N Southwest Showdown, and they've been very supportive of West Coast bracket racing in general, and it's really great. So appreciate it for sure. All of the sponsors that we've got on board, FTI and BTE and all of them, Autometer, Claysmith, Cams, Goodyear, Hoosier, RB Components, they're all Jegs, all these great companies who have stepped up and donated big money to everybody in order to be a part of this event, is just a really cool deal. Also want to thank, all of these companies right here. These are all of the extra prizes, okay, that are happening here. Lindsay Racing Products, Ultronics, Lincoln Welders, Hughes Performance, Specialty Fasteners, Taylor, Imagine That Customs and Race Quip. You're getting a custom helmet. The Showdown trophies, of course, were sponsored as well. California car covers, Mickey Thompson tires, K&N, everybody, Big Speed. It's just been great. Barton, Cutting Edge. Really, really, really awesome to have all of these great people, and it just does not get any better than these companies. You look at Mosier with the best losing packages, gift certificates and such. Mosier is a great brand, and the Mosier family is here racing. They involve themselves in events all the time. They are great people. I happen to know the Mosier family. Mosier is a sponsor on BangShift.com. They're just good people. Dave Mosier is awesome. All the kids are great. I mean, all of them. They're all out here. They're drag racing this weekend. The other thing that they do is that and this is so not official, and they don't care if anybody knows, like they don't do this to get, a bunch of attention, but they put on practice tree races at a bunch of different West Coast bracket races. And so what we do is after hours, after the racing is done, everybody starts drinking beverages and eating food and having fun. And we all meet over there at their trailer, and they've got a big practice tree set up and everything. And literally you stand there next to each other with a clamped on steering wheel on a table and a button, and you sit there and you buy in, and the winner takes home a bunch of money. And it's super fun to do practice tree races, and anybody can do it. The kids, the parents, the racers, the wives, anybody can go out there, and it's really, really cool. So the Mosier family does that stuff all the time, and it's the kids usually that are doing it, but it's fun, and that's what these events are all about. And I hope, I saw a couple of people in the chat window that were saying, God, the next time I'm coming, from the West Coast to the East to race or vice versa, I need to stop in Tucson. You do. I'm from California. I live in Texas now, but I'm from California, and everybody always bashes on the West Coast. We have a lot of drag strips. We have great drag racers. We have great people. We have tons of national championships that come out of Division 7. And there's a lot of cool stuff out here, and they're great drag strips like Tucson Dragway right here. If Tucson Dragway was somewhere in the southeast, it would totally fit in. It's that cool, awesome vibe, local joint that puts on killer events and has great management and all of that. Just happens to be 2 hours south of Phoenix. It's a great market. It's great people, and they put on killer stuff here, and we will be back at least once and possibly 2 or 3 more times this year. So definitely gonna enjoy my time here at Tucson Dragway, and you should as well. Hawker Racing, what are you asking me about? Steve Brooks, I don't know how you get a big nasty resistance band. I don't, unfortunately. Steve Valdez, thank you, Steve, for the burritos. You know it, brother. You know it. I can be bought off with potato, egg, and chorizo, my friends. Let me tell you.
Jeremy Wilson, Nick Downey, Don Sefton, Mark Kidd, Andy Yellow. Coming up here to the
I'm reading all the notes here. Yeah, Kid Performance, big thanks, obviously, for being the presenting sponsor of the shootout tonight. We are waiting for the final 2 cars to come up here. It's going to be Val Torres and Sasha, and that's going to be really cool to see.
We're going to get our finalists back.
Chris Thompson, there definitely is a great vibe here. And for those of you that are, Midwest and East Coast people, I feel like there's one other thing I gotta say as a West Coast guy. I think that sometimes you guys miss out on how bitchin' it is over here because you get your heads wrapped around the politics and junk that are not important. And so, take your families on trips. There's a reason why some huge percentage, like 80% of the national parks in the United States of America are on the western, quarter of the country. It's beautiful landscape out here. And just to tell you how we did things, we do Rocky Mountain Race Week every year, and when my late wife Daphne was around, we would drive the race car 1,450 miles, the race car, with nothing but the wagon full of parts and shit. We would drive it 1,450 miles. We would then put the drag radials on it. We would race it for a week while driving another 1,500 miles, and then we would drive it the 1,450 miles back home. And on the way home, we'd be like, hey, you know what? It's only 5 hours out of the way to go to Yellowstone. We should spend 2 days there. And so we would take the 11-second nitrous huffing small block power drag car and literally cruise through Yellowstone for 2 days because it's Yellowstone and it's rad. There's so much beautiful places to road trip through on the West Coast, and there are great drag races. So if you do it right, you can do your own Western swing and enjoy some really cool scenery and stuff. So it would be cool. At TDM, Midwestern people do move to Arizona all the time. It's true because you want to get rid of the stupid weather where the white stuff falls on the ground. Thank you, Steve. Dude, I appreciate it. I owe you. Yes, Mopar Man says, see the Redwood Coast. Absolutely. Going down Highway 1, which is along the water all the way from the very tip of California all the way down, is rad. And remember, folks, you look at a map sometime, because California is the size of 7 or 8 or 9 states on the East Coast, where your states are the size of our counties. Literally. So yeah. You could definitely have some fun out here, and you could do it and go to races. Like I said, no reason not to do both. I am telling you that you absolutely need to come to the Spring Fling Million, which is only in a few weeks. So go to bracketraces.com and look, and you can totally buy your entries at the gate. There are no free entries this year because of all the COVID stuff, but it is happening. It is on. We will be there. We will be live. And if you come, you will have a great time. I promise you, that event is spectacular. Oh, that is right. Thank you, Nick Billings, for saying that. Anybody that wants a Kyle Seipel compression bracelet, yeah, Layla and Marco Paravalaris, they are the ones that did those. So, yeah, check with them. for sure. Great people also. Oh my God. Super nice family. I cannot tell you how nice they are. All right, folks. So we are, I know you're like, who is the hell is why is the rambling guy just rambling? Just waiting on cars. It's not my fault. Somebody tell Val Torres to get his head out of his butt and let's go. Come on, cool it off. Dude, it's cold. Like, it takes 86 seconds to cool that dragster down out here. If it doesn't, you have the wrong water. If you have a Mazir, it'll move 55 gallons a minute. Dude, that and a big old fan, cold. Brrr, car in a hurry. You're welcome, G. Michael. Thank you very much. Everybody was super supportive during all of our battle with Daphne's cancer and everything. It was just, it was one of the most horrible times of my life, and at the same time, one of the most uplifting, amazing, like, just signs of how good human beings can be. And the reinforced the fact that if you have somebody in your life, anybody, doesn't matter, boss, family members, whatever, if you have people in your life that are of no positive impact on your life at all, get them to not be in your life, because it's just not worth it. Good people are the only people you should surround yourself with. Yeah, Hawker, dude, Hawker, send me a message on Facebook or something, or email me, chat@bankshift.com. I'll look at it. Stephanie Mott, sorry. I'm not bagging on Val. I'm just like, come on, let's go. I'm ready. I still have work to do tonight. So while this is all great, then I have to go back to the hotel and actually do post some blog items and stuff, and reconnoiter a little bit of this stuff so we're ready to go in the morning, and then head on to sleep, and then come back here again. So people are talking about West Coast drag strips, and I grew up in Northern California, San Francisco Bay Area. So Fremont Drag Strip, aka Baylands Raceway Park, was the racetrack, and that or one of them. I mean, there was also Sears Point, but which is now called, I don't know what, it's the Sonoma. But the Fremont was great. It was run by Georgia Seipel, Kyle's mother. And then she later ran Sears Point, and then Kyle ran Sears Point as well. So, yeah, very cool. Oh, yeah, but there's some really cool little drag strips in California, like Verona. Verona looks like if you were to go to Verona, like riding shotgun, and you were in the, you're driving on these mountain, like twisty, windy roads in the hills, and then closed your eyes and then opened them once you were there. It looks like it must be where they shot the original, like 60s or whatever it was, TV show Lost in Space. It rocks that are bigger than any you've ever seen. These boulders that it looks like some far off, alien planet. It's awesome. Eureka, Samoa Drag Strip's killer. Sac is good and still around. Redding actually is cool. Redding is a neat racetrack way up north, northeast California. Irwindale, of course, runs every Thursday in Southern California. Fontana, which is at California Speedway, unfortunately they've been closed down because of COVID, because it's owned by a giant corporation, etc. So Famoso Raceway, absolutely epic drag strip, all concrete, in the middle of California. I mean, literally in the middle of an orchard. And it is the home of the March Meet. It's very, very, very famous drag strip. It's great. Raced there for a jillion years. Really a cool deal. So Wickham is asking if I still have photos from last weekend to post. I do, but I already posted them. They're going to go live tomorrow. I already was writing blog items earlier. So for those of you that are not regulars on bangshift.com, do check it out every day or every couple days or whatever. Sign up for our newsletter as well. We have not on a live weekend because I'm stretched too thin, but typically we have 10 to 14 new blog items a day. And last weekend, Wickman and I went to to the Lone Star Throwdown in Conroe, Texas, which is a huge custom truck show, and I shot hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photos, and I have 11 or 12 photo galleries, something like that I made from all the trucks from the weekend. So tomorrow is nothing but cool Fords and Dodges, but I've got all kinds of galleries up on the site. You can check them out. It's great. So check that out for sure. TDA McLeish, yep, shout out to New England Dragway, Lone's home track. I've been there as well. So let me tell you, there's race cars. This is about to happen. Yeah, this is happening right now. Dragster versus door car for 50 grand.
Sasha Hofer rolling up in the Firebird on the left side of the racetrack. Has adjusted the dial. 761 is up on that left lane at scoreboard, the National Auto Collision Center board here at Tucson Dragway. And Val Torres Jr. with a dial of a 4.74 second estimated elapsed time. Sasha waits as Val puts a big old burnout across the starting line. Rolls out to take a close look at that 330-foot cone, brings it back. And I'm kind of with y'all. I'm not even down there near the racetrack, and my stomach is turning just a little bit. Got the nerves jumping. The excitement is going. Sasha Hofer coming off of a 5 total run, 003 and dead on 2, and Val Torres. Again, you've got the pro entry. We're talking about it a minute ago. No disrespect at all, but for the pro racers that were sitting around going, I don't know if I'm really going to do that. Sasha Hofer is in the final for $50,000. Val Torres, the guy who won his entry into the race last night by way of winning the bonus race, is in the final. So a huge head start to Sasha Hofer on that 7.61 second dial. Sasha's in, set. Val Torres in, set. Tree drops. Sasha's off and away. Tree's counting down, and here we go. Val Torres is on the chase. Can he get around Sasha Hofer at the finish line? He does. 477 on a 474 for Val Torres. He was 13 on the tree. Sasha Hofer goes 764 on a 761 after an 034 reaction time. By 20 thousandths of a second, the margin of victory at the stripe, the dragster becomes the shootout king here at Tucson. Got the win in the stimulus race last night, gets the win in the $50,000 bonus race tonight. But to Sasha Hofer, man, hats off, tip of the cap for an amazing performance. Taking out the other 32 door cars in pro. Taking out the last remaining.
Dude, Val Torres, impressive. Sasha was right there, man, just not enough. If she'd have had the round before in this one, she'd have been taking the big money home. But still, congratulations to both of them. What a great job they did. To everybody that competed in this shootout, you guys nailed it. Everybody was on the ball, in the lanes when they were supposed to be. Seriously cool. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of that for sure. As Val goes by, I've got the camera all set up for him to come down the return road. And, of course, as usual, not doing what he's supposed to do, so he goes down the racetrack backwards. We'll cover the winner's circle here in a second.
All right, we're going to catch up with Val Torres Jr. here in front of the tower, getting a big old hug and congratulations from Jim Hughes here at Tucson Dragway. And while we got folks that are beginning to sign off there on bank shift, Val, last night, a little over 24 hours ago, we were standing in almost this exact same spot as you picked up the win in the stimulus race, and now here tonight, 24 hours later, the question I'm going to ask you, be honest with me, man, 24 hours ago, would you have said, even though you had the win, you were in the race, would you have said you were standing in this exact same spot tonight?
My goal was just to make it to the money round, everybody, to be honest. You know, just thank the Lord, number one, thank my family, my wife, my kids, my dad again, everybody here that puts on this race. You know, last time, a couple years back, I was here at a 50 grander and it ran it up and that hurt. You know, you don't get many opportunities, and for Chris to put one on, and this is the reason why I'm here for that, I mean, every race, but for that 50 grander, because tonight I'm taking my daughter down to Phoenix to go race, let her race tomorrow, and that was the original plan. Woo!
Obviously very happy. I mean, you are the shootout king here in Tucson this weekend, locking them both down. You've now got matching trophies to take home. But was there a point during this race, I mean, you got locked in, you got zoned in on that starting line, and it seemed like everything was just falling your way?
Yeah, I mean, it took a while, you know, at the beginning of the day, hitting 20 lights, thinking I'm hitting it, but just still confident, you know, knowing that I was just a touch missing it, and left the delay alone and just hoped that, you know, the cards would fall my way and not just push the luck too hard and try to, you know, be 00, but, you know, just be teen and be conservative. There's a lot of good racers out here. Big shootout, you don't want to turn it red, so got to give yourself a shot out there. You know, it's unbelievable to be up here 2 in a row, back to back. Never would have thought about it. You know, and yeah, my brother, a lot of red lights out there. You know what? It's part of drag racing. Just, I don't know. Just thanks. Speechless right now, guys.
Well, I'll tell you what. A lot of talent is on display out here this weekend, and for you to claim 2 shootout races, you, my friend, are one of the most talented drivers out there this weekend. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to the entire Torres family taking home the big checks this weekend. He is your champ in the $50,000 shootout. Let's hear it for Val Torres Jr.